Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from this month's sponsor, Ethico.
If you're a compliance officer, middle managers are crucial in getting your programs from you to your frontline employees. But how do we activate those managers and get them on our side? Ethico's new Middle Manager Toolkit equips you with the skills needed to empower your managers, to promote a culture where ethical behavior thrives and employees feel empowered to speak up. Learn how to turn frontline managers into ethical leaders with our new white paper, Empowering Middle Managers as Ethics Champions. And did I mention you can get the whole toolkit for free? Head to ethico.com to download the full toolkit today.
Also, if you are looking for something new and different for the upcoming Compliance Week celebration in November, check out The Compliance Kids. It's my 3-book children's series on compliance and compliance professionals for children. But they make great gifts and great training tools for your employees. You can check it out on Amazon.com. We've linked to it in the show notes. Welcome to the Daily Compliance News for September 23, 2024, that old-time religion edition. And we begin with that story from the Wall Street Journal, a risk and compliance journal, Mingy Sun, reporting that the Binance CEO, Richard Teng, has gotten that old-time compliance religion, and that Binance has invested heavily in its compliance program over the past year. And when I say heavily, I mean $213 million on compliance programs, roughly 35% higher than in 2022. The money has been used to increase staffing, expand artificial intelligence, to make processes more efficient. And the company is looking to add at least 170 people to its compliance team before the end of the year. So when you have a $4.4 billion fine, you get that old-time compliance religion. Next up, from the Wall Street Journal Logistics Report, is about the pager attack in Lebanon and how that has weaponized supply chains. This highlights the risk and vulnerabilities of technology and supply chain. Every board, every CEO, every government has now woken up to the fact that their products could be compromised. And this is indeed the weaponization of supply chain. The supply chain trail behind the Israeli attack that began with exploding pagers remains murky. And it adds to a wide range of electronics that can be tampered with. So what's in your supply chain? Next up from the Financial Times, are zombies stalking US boardrooms? What are zombies? Well, zombies are board members who have failed to win at least 50% of support for shareholders, yet remain at a company's top table. At the end of August, there were 35 zombie directors at 27 U.S.-based Russell 3000 companies. While that's down, it's still a significant portion, and it concerns many institutional investors. And finally, from the BBC, a British businessman, Michael Lomas, has been extradited to South Africa to face charges around the corporate or capture issue on the South African power company Eskom. He's been charged with bribery and corruption for with over 65 different indictments against him. And this is the first British citizen to be extradited to South Africa in the Eskom capture scandal. So we will definitely follow this story for you. As I mentioned at the start of this podcast, the sponsor for the entire Compliance Podcast Network is Ethico. Well, Ethico has a great new offering this month for you, a toolkit for middle managers. This is something that you, as the compliance professional, can use to move your compliance program forward by giving middle managers the skills necessary to answer a call for speak up, or when someone comes in their office and raises a concern. I can't think of a tool that will be more valuable for you in the current era of enforcement. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.